So there just so happens to be a video that Republicans absolutely don't want you to see. Here's the background first. We just got some major news coming out of Arizona. The state Supreme Court there has ruled that an 1864 abortion ban will go into effect, meaning that abortion will effectively be banned in the state of Arizona. And obviously the implications here are massive. It effectively ends women's reproductive autonomy in yet another state, thanks to the will of Republicans who beat their chests about freedom while at the same time stripping it away. Now, Republicans immediately started panicking because they know what happens to them when abortion is on the ballot. So U.S. Senate candidate Kari Lake, a Republican, came out and released a statement saying, quote, "I oppose today's ruling and I am calling on Katie Hobbs and the state legislature to come up with an immediate common sense solution that Arizonans can support." And if you're wondering why she came out so quickly with this statement, it's because she was trying to get out in front of this clip from the 2022 debate where she gave her actual views on the issue of abortion.
Kari, we'll start with you on this one. The new law banning abortion, in Arizona after 15 weeks. There's that law, and there's a territorial era law which bans all abortion, zippo, over. Which law do you think should take effect?
My personal belief is that all life matters, all life counts, and all life is precious, and I don't believe in abortion. I think the older law is going to go into effect. That's what I believe will happen.
Okay, but you approve of that? At conception?
I believe life begins at conception.
Okay, what do we do about abortion pills? What do we do about...
I don't think abortion pills should be legal. That's
not in Arizona.
Quote, "I believe life begins at conception." In other words, she agrees with the substance of this ban. So either Kari Lake's supposed deeply held principles completely flipped in the span of less than 2 years, or she's seen what happens to Republicans who institute these draconian bans, and so she's just saying whatever she needs to say to get elected. Take all the time you need with that one. And she's not the only Republican in a panic right now. Doug Ducey, the former Republican governor of Arizona, posted on Twitter, "I signed the 15-week law as governor because it is thoughtful conservative policy and an approach to this very sensitive issue that Arizona can actually agree on. The ruling today is not the outcome I would have preferred, and I call on our elected leaders to heed the will of the people and address this issue with a policy that is workable and reflective of our electorate." In other words, he's also backpedaling. Only small problem here. Let's take a look at who appointed the judges who upheld today's absurd and anti-democratic decision. Would you look at that? 3/4 of the entire bench was appointed by Doug Ducey himself. In other words, Ducey will nominate people based on their far-right views, and then when they inevitably rule based on those same views that got them their appointment in the first place, Ducey doesn't want to take any responsibility. Convenient, huh? And let's be clear, this is exactly what Trump is hoping to accomplish on a national stage. The guy spent the last few years bragging about how it was his court that overturned Roe.
Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that.
And yet now, recognizing the extent to which this is going to hurt him, he's trying to claim that he's some moderate force looking for compromise between the left and the right. He is not. And he's trying his hardest to make sure that his supporters know that he will say whatever he has to say to get elected by winking at them with statements like this.
You must follow your heart on this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country, which is currently, and very sadly, a nation in decline.
In other words, he's telling his supporters, look, we both want the same thing, but I have to get elected so that I can do what you want me to do, so just let me sound more moderate, and then when I'm in office, I'll rule how I want to and how you want me to. And anyone who denies that that is what's happening is honestly too foolish to weigh in at all. With all of that said, here's the good news. Organizers have announced that they've collected enough signatures to get an amendment enshrining abortion rights onto the ballot in November in Arizona. To put into context how important that is, since Dobbs was handed down, voters in 6 states, California, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Vermont, and Ohio, have been able to vote on constitutional amendments protecting abortion rights, and every single time they've won. That is why Republicans are panicking, because they know the fate that awaits them. So I know that it's easy to see what just happened in Arizona and feel the crushing despair that comes with this systematic stripping of fundamental rights away from a full half of the population. But the silver lining is that the electorate is awake, they are energized, and they are ready to vote. And that is exactly what they're going to do in November. I should note too, for those who are interested, that I have my Don't Be a Mitch fund, where Arizona is one of only 5 recipients. So if you want to donate to ensure that Democrats win statewide, you can click the link right here on this screen or check out the link to Don't Be a Mitch in the post description of this video. Certainly not necessary, but we've raised over $1 million in the midterms through my fund, and I aim to raise even more this time around. In the meantime, Arizonans should know that because they came out for Democrats in the last election cycle, they've now got a Democratic governor who's not going to sell off their rights to appease some Christo-fascist extremist in the Republican base, but rather come out and issue statements like this.
It is a dark day in Arizona. Just now, the Arizona Supreme Court issued its opinion in Planned Parenthood v. Mays, upholding one of the most extreme abortion bans in the country. And while it is currently stayed, we continue to live under an unacceptable ban, a law that still strips Arizonans of their personal autonomy and has no exceptions for women who are the victims of rape or incest or any regard for pregnancy complications. Let me be clear. Arizona's 2022 abortion ban is extreme and hurts women. And the near total Civil War era ban that continues to hang over our heads only serves to create more chaos for women and doctors in our state.
So I want to be perfectly clear here. If the Republican Party or Donald Trump takes control in 2024, at any level of government, they will 100% try to pass a nationwide abortion ban. And not just in red states, in all states. That means that people in California, in New York, in Vermont will all be subject to the same draconian ban. The same ban that Republicans just succeeded in implementing in Arizona. That is what this election is about. The Republicans will try to spin it, they'll release slick talking points, they'll change their positions, they'll disavow what they said only months or a couple of years ago, they'll try to make the Democrats seem extreme. It is all noise. The American people have made abundantly clear where they stand on this issue, and it is as far away from Trump and his MAGA acolytes like Carrie Lake as possible. And in the same way that we've made all of our voices heard in 2022 on the back of Dobbs, and in 2023 on the back of Dobbs, and even the early part of this year on the back of Dobbs, we're gonna do it again in November. And then our Democratic majorities will codify Roe into law once and for all, because despite the GOP's best efforts to trade away our rights in service of their Christo-fascist fever dreams, I can promise you that it's not going to work. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.